Hi my lovelies, welcome back to my channel, and for everybody who is new, I'm Leorah and I'm so glad you found me. So welcome to this very exotic video, because today we're going to talk in depth about this palette. This is the newest palette from Nomad Cosmetics and I'm so excited to show you because this is how she looks. Okay, let us first of all of course look at the outer packaging, and this is, let me introduce this to you, the Paradise Island palette. So now you of course also understand this beautiful design. Okay, so now also the inside reflects amazingly how the outside looks. As you can see, this is a very nice springtime palette, and of course in depth we're going to talk in the review part at the end of the video. So in today's video of course you're going to see this look created. I also want to tell you a story. Now I'm going to try to tell you the story. What I failed to mention while I'm applying the makeup is that I actually have not only one sick kid at home but 4 sick kids at home, all of them with the stomach virus. So there is a lot of unpleasant stuff going on, and actually as of right now when I'm filming this I have 4 kids like throwing up and having diarrhea. So just so you know, that is why I might feel or I might come across a little bit distracted, because I'm kind of battling a giant here while I'm trying to create this content. Okay, so sweeties, nevertheless this is the palette, and of course I'm going to show you a lot of looks also later on in the video. Beyond that of course also the swatches, and then as I told you already, at the end of the video we're going to have the review part. So if you've just found me, I'm Leorah. I'm a makeup artist and stylist living for colorful makeup and colorful styling. So of course feel free to check out my channel and also my social media, which is linked in the description box down below, so you can get to know me a little bit, my vibe, and what I can do and what I do offline and online, and so on and so forth. So please feel free to subscribe to my channel. I would love to have you here. And with all of that being said, without further ado, let's go right into the video. Okay, sweeties, here we are, and we are going to do a look, and I also want to talk to you about something because I think that is a tiny little story that you might enjoy, because it kind of is cute. Okay, sweeties, so let's go in with the palette. I think I want to go in with the greens and the blues, because I think that these shades are really, like, truly for me, there's the star of the show, obviously. You know me that much, right? So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in, check out these nails. I know, who am I? Okay, so I'm gonna go in with this one first towards like the inside of the crease, and then I'm gonna go and blend it into this, and then into this, I guess, you know, and then we'll see what we'll do on the lid. Okay, so first of all, I'm priming my eyes with the eyeshadow base from Natasha Denona. That is my, I don't know, my preferred eyeshadow base when it comes to these shades, because I don't know, it is just what I do. Okay, and I'm gonna go in with the shade Tiki, which is the light green, and I'm going to just place it right here. I have to say that I really enjoy those colorful and strong colors. Yeah, because they're really beautiful. And also with the last palette, with the Snow Lodge palette, that was also the case. I thought these 2 palettes now, these last ones, have really won my heart, I have to say. Alright, so I'm just basically placing it right here, and then I'm already going to the next color. And I'm basically just putting the placement down, and then we'll see what happens. Alright, so this is the shade Stingray. Don't get too close. And just, you know, to have this kind of a transition, that's the plan. Alright, so let me tell you the story, because I thought that was so cute, and I unfortunately was not there when the grandfather of my children, which is my husband's father, because my father has passed already, so that is the grandfather of my children, when he told the story to my children. I unfortunately wasn't there because one of my kids was sick and I was home with her. My husband had taken the 6 other kids to go to visit his parents, and we do that every Friday night after we had our Shabbat dinner. We go to the grandparents because they live very close by, so we go there and visit them basically for dessert. Alright, so that's what we do. Did I say I wanted to go in with the blue? Yeah, I think so. So this is the shade, I have no idea, HYVE, maybe. Alright, so, but boy oh boy, is that a beautiful color scheme though. So pretty. So in any case, I unfortunately wasn't there, but they told me the next day about the story that the grandfather told, and I kind of wanted to share it with you. I have no idea about the details, and I'm probably not going to be able to tell it as well as he did and as entertaining and all of these things, but I really liked the essence of the story. So the whole story is something about a big ship, passenger ship, as far as I know, as far as I understood the story. And this passenger ship was on the ocean, and it was going towards the mouth of the Amazon, where the Amazon basically enters the ocean. All right. So things were going not so well. Maybe they were behind schedule. Again, I don't know the exact story, really. And I also don't know if it's a true story. I really don't know. So in any case, bottom line was that they were running out of water, out of fresh water that they could drink, you know? So the situation on board started to get really dire. I'm also trying to figure out what I'm going to blend this out with. Maybe with the green. Let's see what that does. The light green. Let's just see. Okay, I'm just dabbing this here. So the situation on board was getting really dire, and at some point, I guess there was another ship crossing by further away, and they signaled them that they are in like a life-threatening situation. Now, I thought at that point in the story that it's going to turn out that the other ship are pirates or something like this, you know, but it wasn't. But they said, look where you are, and I'm like, well, yeah, so they are still far away from the shore. But I don't know if they could see land already, maybe not, I'm not 100% sure, but they kind of said, look where you are, you're in the perfect spot, kinda. And I'm like, huh? What, the perfect spot to die? To, like, what? And apparently the Amazon, where it basically empties out into the ocean, it brings sweet water in that big stream of it, basically, even while it is in the ocean already. It does not immediately mix. And this boat was out in the ocean, I don't know how far, but it was on that stream that was still coming from the Amazon River. So in essence, they basically could drink the water they were floating on, you know, so the solution for their problem was right underneath them. Even though it looked like, well, we're out in the ocean, this must definitely be a salt water, right? Like, I would have not looked underneath. I would, you know, I would have assumed this is salt water. And you know, I don't know how experienced that captain was. If he didn't know that, I would assume that a person who is driving around people for a living would know that. But again, I don't know what kind of a cruise that was. Maybe it was refugees or something. I have no idea. And again, this story might just be made up. But in any case, it doesn't matter, because the whole meaning of the story is the thing that is so interesting, because sometimes we are kind of looking for a solution or for a problem, and it looks like this, we're not going to make it in this one, you know, but we're kind of floating on the solution. And the solution comes from a place where we would not look, because we are just trained not to look there. Because who would be trained to look into the ocean at that point, you know? Because we all know, and we've all been taught in school, that of course the oceans are salt water, and if you drink that, you'll die. Right? So good that the other ship came by. So sometimes it is maybe also just very valuable to just listen to someone who gives you advice, even though it sounds stupid. But when you think about it, when you think it through, it kind of really makes sense, you know? But if you still don't know, if you don't know that this is true, then you kind of have to take a leap of faith there. Yeah, so I was just like, okay, I'm going to talk to you about this because I thought this was such a cute story, especially now in today's times, where also, like, on a world level, there is so much going on, and people are really desperate, don't know where help is coming from. But also on a personal level, I think one can kind of really learn something here, that sometimes when you're in a situation and you don't know what is going to happen and where your help is going to come from, then I'm not saying look underneath you necessarily, but maybe look in places where you have not looked yet, you know, or something that is almost supernatural, because this kind of a situation with the Amazon River, that is, I mean, it is natural because of course it makes complete sense when you look at it scientifically, but it is not something that like happens all the time. So I think it is just so cool. It's a very cool story, and I kind of would have loved to be there when he told that story, because I also feel like when old people, he is 90 plus, you know, the grandfather, when old people tell life lessons, it is just next level. It's next level, because it feels like this person has gone through so much, and in this case it is actually super true. It's just it feels like it's so much deeper than when I'm telling the story, because it's like, okay, so what have I gone through, you know, compared to what he did? It's like peanuts. It's like my life has been a picnic. It doesn't feel like it for me, but compared, you know. Yeah, so I don't know, that was the story that I wanted to share, because it is just so nice to know that sometimes the answers are already provided, and we just have to learn to look and to maybe just hold on a second and be still for a second and just like hear and look and understand what's happening. So I hope that was inspirational. All right, so let us also go in with a shimmer, and I want to use definitely this one, because I have not given this one too much attention yet. I don't know why, it just didn't work out that way. So I'm just going to go into this one. That's the shade Sharks. Yeah, that's scary. All right, so let's just go into this one. That's very pretty. I'm going to definitely build up this one, because right now the payoff is not 100% yet. So I'm just going to go over it. You see? This is such a beautiful look. I'm sure that this is going to like turn into probably one of the nicest that I've done with this palette. I'm still going to work with the blend here a little bit, but you know that I always do that. All right, sweeties, maybe I should also pull in that green shimmer, maybe. So let me just put this one down here, and then I'm gonna switch brushes, and I'm gonna go, where's the brush? Here, in with the shade Turtle, which is this green one, the green shimmer here, and I'm going to place like a thin sliver of that, just to add a little bit of more of a like a dimension or something. Not that it needs it, but yeah. So we have a lot of color play really in this look, you know, going between all those different shades, even though it is more or less still it is kind of a safe look, if you ask me, like color wise, because of course these colors work super well together. But I mean, if you have a palette like this with a lot of blues and greens in it, it just shows you how well you can work with them, because it's just non-threatening at all, you know. It's so pretty. All right, so let me just then also blend this a little bit more. But this is basically the outline of the look, and I really like it. Very cool. Yeah, so I'm going to do a little bit more blending, try to stop me. And of course, in the meantime, you're going to see the swatches of the palette, and of course all the other looks that I've done with this palette. And right after, we'll meet here again for the review part, so stay tuned. Okay, sweeties, here we are, of course, with the finished look and the finished styling. I hope that you got the idea of the story that I tried to tell you, because it kind of feels like I personally, now when I'm filming this, I have not watched the footage yet, so I don't know how bad it is. I kind of have the feeling that it is kind of borderline bad. So I apologize. It is just that I'm battling a lot of stuff here at the same time. Okay, but still, I want to film this video, and it is kind of also really, really strange to try to feel pretty, and actually do feel very, very pretty today while I'm emptying out vomit buckets. It's beautiful, but it's real life, sweeties, and this is what it's all about. It's real life. I'm not faking stuff here on my channel. It is just what it is, you know? So in any case, this is the look, and let us just zoom you in, because that is probably interesting, more interesting to you than vomit buckets, right? So yeah, I'm also of course going to tell you in just a second how I finished the look. I did of course do way more blending than off camera, because that is just what I do, but you saw the outline of the look, of course, and I think you got a good idea of what I did there. All right, sweeties, then let's just talk about this. Of course, when we're talking about the liner, maybe first of all, I wanted to kind of pick up a shade from the palette. I did not actually use a shade from the palette for the liner, but wait, let me show you. I already put it here in the sleeve so I can show you the sleeve, but okay, so let me show you. I was actually looking for something that kind of imitates this shade a tiny little bit, you know, so I actually used a red liner from Inglot. This is a gel liner. I put that on as a base, and then I topped it off with some random pinkish glitter from Sakara. It is a local brand. Never mind, you can use whatever you have, you know. I don't know if you can see it. I hope you can see it. So it's just random loose glitter. Never mind, okay? So that is what I did for the liner, and then in the inner corner I have this one, which is just so gorgeous. It's a super nice light green. Of course, I do have a dark blue on my waterline, and then at the inner part under my eye I do have this one, and then in the outer part I have this, and I just pushed a little bit of the darker green a little bit closer to my lash line. So that is how I finished the look. All right, so sweeties, let us talk about the palette. Now this is how the palette looks. Of course, as you know, this is what I showed you already. Now we also do have the sleeve, which looks on the cover, it looks exactly the same, but also here on the back you have, as always with Nomad Cosmetics, you have more information also about the idea of the palette. Now, should I read this for you? It is very small, sweeties, and my eyesight is, you know, I'm not 16 anymore. Okay, all right, so let me just tell you. It says your lush eyeshadows formulated with extra fine pigments for a rich color payoff in a rainbow of tropical hues, infused with coconut oil to help hydrate and condition the skin. 10 awe-inspiring shimmers and 8 breathtaking mattes inspired by the exquisite flora and fauna of the Pacific Paradise Islands. That went well. Went well. Okay, sometimes I'm so self-conscious about reading stuff in English out loud, because in my head, like, I can read, you know, I'm in control of the English language to a certain extent, but then reading out loud in front of the camera, I always feel like such a fool. But in any case, I also want to give you the idea, of course, what is always behind what Nomad Cosmetics is doing. They're always putting their idea on the palette, of course. All right, so it says here, surrounded by the vast Pacific Ocean are hundreds of paradise islands like the heavenly Bora Bora and Tahiti that make up a diverse and vibrant tropical ecosystem. Ambrosial and elemental, don't ask me what ambrosial is. I need to Google that. Ambrosial and elemental, they hold our collective imagination as to what a paradise on earth feels, looks, and smells like. Blessed by fertile rainforests, idyllic beaches, and an underwater world full of life, you sense a belongingness to nature. Spend some time here and you begin to feel connected to the earth and all the breathtaking beauty of the lands, the animals, and the people of these magnificent islands. All right, sweeties, this is about the palette. Yeah. All right, so I have to say that actually what they put into the palette, when you also look at this outer packaging, I think they did super well to translate this, you know? Of course, completely honest, when I think about 10 shimmers and 8 mattes, I would like to have it the opposite, you know? Because that is just my preference. You know how much I love my mattes. And I would also tell you what I would change, all right? Because I would change this one here into a matte, same color or even a tiny little bit darker, like a deep fuchsia or something. That's what I would do. And also this one I would transfer or transform into a matte, and maybe even also a little bit darker, because you know I love my dark looks. I just thrive in dark looks. And basically what you have here is this one, and they are spectacular. Also this one is kind of medium. It's not really dark, it's kind of medium, but you can definitely work with that too and create, of course, beautiful looks. Not everybody though feels so strongly about the dark mattes. That is just something that is me. Like it is me, like the turtles for the island, you know, it just goes together. And for me it's the dark mattes. Okay, so with all of that being said, the mattes that are in the palette are spectacular. The performance of the mattes from Nomad Cosmetics, it's just so good, and I'm especially enjoying them with this palette and also with the Whistler Snow Lodge palette, which was of course the last one that just released like 2 months ago or 3 months ago, which was also so beautiful. Now of course here you also do have all these corally shades. It is a very springtime vibe with the option of also deepening up the looks, you know. Also the greens are just beautiful, and maybe you also saw it in the swatches. These two rows together swatched, which is spectacular, so beautiful. Okay, now let's go to the shimmer formula. The shimmer formula, I think one has to build up a little bit. You can reach, of course, super nice opacity. I think you can also see it here today. It also picks up really nicely on the brush, and I also did not have any problems with creasing and issues like that. So that is really nice, but I think you definitely have to build them up a little bit. Okay, so that is at least my experience, but I think color scheme wise it is really pretty, you know. Also for what it stands for, what it kind of implies, and also when it launches within the year, I think this is a beautiful palette. And of course, like, who wouldn't want to go there? I'm ready for the island, especially today, you know, so please just take me, someone, you know, that would be awesome. And the cool thing is, of course, if you don't know, that the owners of Nomad Cosmetics, which is Felicia and Auntie, that they actually go to those places. They have visited all of the places where they're creating palettes about, you know. So all of these, like last time, the Whistler Snow Lodge, they were there. They got inspired by the area and what they saw and what they smelled and what they tasted and all of that, talking to the people, and this is how they create the palette, the way they feel about this place. And I think that is an awesome concept for a brand, and I highly recommend for you to check out that brand, because first of all, it is a super positive brand. The owners are amazing, and it's just, they're putting so much love and so much thought in each release, which is just beautiful. It's not random, you know, they're actually really investing a lot in this, and that is so cool. So I highly recommend for you to, of course, check out this palette. Now you should be seeing this video, of course, around launch time. I hope very close to the launch time. So either it is becoming available shortly or it is already available. So of course, feel free to check out their website. Everything is going to be linked in the description box down below. Now that is basically what I have to say. I think it was beautiful. There was also no staining. I didn't expect any staining either, because these colors are, you know, not really the kind of colors that stain usually, and that's what it is. So I hope you also did enjoy the looks. Of course, they're all going to come up on my social media, so make sure to follow me there if you're interested in seeing more about all of this, and of course about all the other brands that I'm featuring here on my social media and here on YouTube. And beyond that, of course, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and to check out the description box, because of course you will find there all the discount codes that I do have with the different brands, links to my social media, ways to support my channel, and all my makeup of today. And feel free to leave your comment. What do you think about the palette? Are you gonna get it? Are you excited about this? Have you ordered it already? You know, so just let me know what you think, and maybe also if you have been there. Have you been there, you know, because then maybe you are the perfect person to judge the color scheme, you know, because I haven't been there. I haven't traveled a lot because I was always pregnant, and now I get to clean up vomit. So yeah, this is how God distributes his blessings. All right, sweeties, that's it from me for today. I'll see you here super soon for my next video, and up until then, definitely go ahead and sparkle. Hugs and kisses. Bye.